And here's the fundamental problem. Politics has been made deliberately boring, dry, complex, filled with jargon, so you don't pay attention. So you keep doom scrolling past the truth and you give up. But when someone like me gives you 3 minutes of solid info, why not listen to it? Most of us doing this will show you where the truth is, will tell you what to look for.
He's doing this now to distract from what they've done with the benefit cuts, the council tax increases, etc. This is in regards to Keir Starmer telling you all the good things that he thinks he's done. Because we know, local elections are around the corner. And he also knows that the pressure's on him as well. He thinks he's doing a marvellous job. And whenever there's a build-up to an election, all you hear from these people is all the good that they've done. If you've not done much like Keir and the Labour Party, they're telling you what they are going to do. They're going to roll up their sleeves and they're going to dig in, get us on the right path, get the UK back up and running and a working machine. Let's have it right, in fairness. It's just another load of broken promises. Promises that they're making that they're not going to deliver on.
You might be wondering why bread and hot cross buns are being short at shops at the moment, and I'll tell you why. Because milling wheat is staying on farms. Farmers that are growing milling wheat have gone on strike from the 1st of April. They will not be loading any trucks with milling wheat, and we're probably going to run out of flour, which will result in running out of hot cross buns and bread. So if you wonder why the shelves are empty, get onto your local MP and say you need to help these farmers out. You can't carry on putting them out of business.
Absolutely bang on the money. I've always supported farmers and I've always showed my support. No farmers, no food. They're still getting ripped off. The government are having them over. They're going on strike. I don't blame them at all.
Labour have shocked the nation this morning by announcing they will be increasing the tax-free threshold to £20,000. Yes, you'll actually get to keep more of your own money for once. No stealth taxes, no fiscal gaslighting, just a proper break for the working public. But, all right, everyone, April Fool's is over. But this morning's video that I posted at 1 a.m. made a very good point. I laid out a bunch of obviously too good to be true policies: tax cuts, real NHS reform, stopping the boats, ditching net zero hypocrisy. It was a joke, but loads of people believed it. And here's the fundamental problem. Politics has been made deliberately boring, dry, complex, filled with jargon, so you don't pay attention. So you keep doom scrolling past the truth and you give up. But when someone like me gives you 3 minutes of solid info, why not listen to it? Most of us doing this will show you where the truth is, will tell you what to look for, but you're only watching 10 seconds of the video. And you're only informed if you're actually listening and critically thinking, because the information is out there. The question is, do you want the truth or just the version that feels comfortable? Let's take Rachel Reeves last week. Labour proudly announced that you were £500 better off in a headline. Technically true for a brief moment, thanks to a Tory national insurance cut before they left office. But now, today, her budget kicks in and households are already getting hit with higher costs, higher taxes and debt disguised as investment. At the time she said it, it was possibly true. Questionable, but true. But it certainly isn't now. But the headline, with some people, is what sticks. What about the 67 billion headline in private funding for the energy sector? Sounds great until you realise you'll be paying it back with interest because you don't look past the headline. What she said wasn't false, but it wasn't the whole truth either. That's manipulation. They rely on you not paying attention. And like I said earlier, the real fools, they're not the ones tricked by a 2-minute video where I deliberately tried to deceive you. They're the ones who, after 28 years of Labour and Tory failure, still think Labour and Tories are the answer. And for what exactly? Because from where I'm sitting, everything they've said since the 4th of July has been one long permanent April Fool's. And all I ask of you is, don't be the fools. When you're getting the information, listen to it. If you don't understand the jargon of politics and someone's explaining it to you, pay attention, because then you might get the full picture instead of the narrative the mainstream media and the government want to push down your throat. Because sometimes the information is right in front of your eyes. It's whether you want to see it or not, isn't it?
To suggest that we're going to be £500 better off is a lie, isn't it? The Chancellor's economic sums don't add up, do they, Mr Jarvis? On one hand, she says she is sticking to her non-negotiable fiscal rules, and we discover that she's borrowing 20 billion more over the next 2 years. Wow. She then made the claim that British householders would be £500 better off by the budget. Actually, in reality, this is what's going to happen.
And I'll take it from there, thank you very much. Here is exactly what's going to happen. April the 1st, every single household bill is going to go up, on average £300 plus. Within 2 months, you're already £100 down. According to Rachel Reeves' maths, you're going to be £500 better off per year. Within 2 months, you're going to be £100 down. The math isn't mathing. It never has under this government. It never has with Rachel Reeves. It stinks massively to the high heaven of literally making people poorer. When they said they were going to make people richer, they said bills weren't going to go up as much. They said they were going to not increase taxes. We already know, we've heard it time and time again. So don't get excited because I've seen people saying, oh, they're actually going to give us more. They're not. You're going to be worse off. These pay rises that you're all getting from work, your 4%, your 5%, the tax threshold, it never moves. And if it does, it's what, a couple of quid? That, in this day and age, should be touching £20,000. You should be able to earn around £20,000 before you start paying any tax in this country. But no, it's at 12,500. It is an absolute joke. It is upside down. It is bollocks maths. We're getting con people massively out of our money. We pay the highest bills, I would suggest, probably in the world. It will be right up there in the world. No signs of it getting any better. It's madness.
I don't have any intention of doing this again. I thought it was the right decision for my family. If it's related to my job and it's something that I need to do in my job, like I'm going to a formal dinner or a formal event, of course you have to accept hospitality.
That basically, Rachel, from accounts, means that you will be still accepting freebies. She's kind of saying sorry, but she's not. She got a box as well, so she felt a bit safer with the family. I'm like, really? And I don't think she feels guilty in the slightest. But listen, when you've got money and you've got that power and you're getting free stuff thrown at you, we already know this because when they got in, it all came out. Lord Ali and all that stuff. They was getting freebies left, right and centre. Look at Angela Rayner. She was once one of the people. Now she's, I don't know what she is. I think she's like a Versace model. Do you know what she dresses and the way she talks and she smirks when they talk about cutting people's benefits? It's madness to get people thinking, yeah, fair enough, he's going to do it. Let's give him a chance. And that's all it's going to be, people. Because I'm telling you now, he is absolutely shitting a brick in these local elections. Let's not forget they tried to cancel him. That's it. That says everything for me. That really does. It sums it up. And them as a party and them as a person, where we're at. I don't think I'll ever change my opinion. I think they're absolutely terrible. They've absolutely. I think they've gone above the Tories, which is a massive thing to say. And if you think that these people are going to deliver, then you've got more chance of winning the lottery. Let me put it that way. Don't forget, these people made a ton of promises in the build up to the general election, and within not even a month, they went back on a majority of them things. So think on very much.
You want to keep more of the money you earn? I'm afraid that's very selfish. We shall want to tax that away. You want to own shares in your firm? We can't have that. The state has to own your firm. You want to choose where to send your children to school? That's very divisive. You'll send your child where we tell you. Mr. President, the trouble with Labour is that they're just not at home with freedom. Socialists don't like ordinary people choosing, for they might not choose socialism.
Birmingham, with the greatest of respect, and I'm an old man, older than you, is beginning to look like the United Kingdom looked at the end of the last Labour government in 1979. I remember it. This was in every city, Kevin. True?
It's absolutely true. And this situation has been totally brought about by the council itself. And the frightening thing is, you'd think the Labour Party, which has such links to Unite, they've given the Labour Party tens of millions of pounds. You'd think Angela Rayner and Keir Starmer would step in and sort this out, but they're washing their hands of it. They don't want to get into that battle because it's their union paymasters. The Labour Party is like the political wing of the unions. That's the reality. They won't get involved. It probably should be declared a public health emergency because there will be illnesses through this. It's completely outrageous. It's totally self-inflicted. The central government, the Labour government, the national government need to step in and sort this out.
I was going to say, I guess you're calling on both of them to get out of Westminster, stop trying to chase a net zero mad dream and do something about the people of Birmingham, right?
It's a disgrace. I mean, this is a proud city. It's our second city. I mean, this stuff has been broadcasted around the world. It's the dirtiest city in Britain. It's a total disgrace. The Labour Party itself needs to sort the unions out and sort this dispute out and sort this situation out.
The UK, right across the UK, many people in England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland open their hearts, open their homes to refugees from Ukraine, for refugees from Syria. We're a generous country. Well, let's show that generosity of spirit again for those that need to leave, that don't have a home. Let's say that the UK, let's say that Scotland will be a place of sanctuary for them, as we have shown that kindness and compassion for others.
The SNP even wanted to introduce free bus passes for asylum seekers. As of July 2024, there were around 213 asylum hotels in Scotland, supposedly. The fair people of Glasgow took to the streets to physically prevent the deportation of people suspected of committing immigration offences, and the police backed down. Well done to all of the refugees welcome protesters in Glasgow. Amazing work. Really, really good stuff. Now, let's check in and see how Glasgow is getting on today, shall we? 4,000 asylum seekers descended on Glasgow, and now the council says we can't take any more. The city is crumbling under the weight of the asylum seekers. It's damaging social cohesion. It's caused a housing crisis. The situation is, quote, utterly untenable. They've got homeless migrants just wandering the streets. They're planning on turning a care home into a base for refugees. An asylum seeker was shot dead by police after stabbing 6 people at a hotel. Elsewhere in Scotland, a failed asylum seeker raped a schoolgirl near a pub. Now, the council in Glasgow wants the government to, you ready for this? Pause sending asylum seekers to Glasgow. Well, hang on a minute. The rest of the country wants that, don't they? The rest of us, we want a pause. So when they want it in Glasgow, OK, it's because they're overwhelmed. When we want it down here, it's because we're all racist bigots. You reap what you sow, I'm afraid. This is today's lesson. And, maybe people are going to regret the idea of calling everyone a racist who wanted to do something about it, because now when you can't get housing, you can't get access to your public services, crime's gone up, you've got people lining the street in tents, and you think, well, hang on a minute, the care homes are now a migrant hotel. Maybe people will wish to do something about it.
I'm joined now by Lord Robert Hayward, Conservative peer and pollster. Great to have you on the programme, Lord Hayward. Let's talk about 5 years of Sir Keir Starmer as Labour leader. If you were to come up with a sort of headline sentence of what Starmer as leader of Labour is like.
And there's no question it's the most unpopular incoming government that this country and most countries have ever had. And that, unfortunately for him, summarises his 5 years, because he set out to become Prime Minister, he's become Prime Minister, and it's been a pretty awful experience for him and for the country.
Is it that he's dull? Does he lack charisma? Is it that he's technocratic? Is it that actually we all get a sense there's a sort of streak in him, something that lacks empathy and emotion?
He does lack empathy, and he's had speech training under very questionable circumstances during COVID. And if I was him, I'd have asked for my money back. Yesterday, the anniversary of his 5 years, Labour lost 2 council by-elections in huge swings. And you said about woke Westminster, one of the Labour councillors has defected overnight to the Conservatives. So it's not a very happy anniversary for him.
You said Labour Party probably got some of the worst polling of any sort of fairly fresh government. They're not so fresh these days. But what are the polls looking like now? Because there does seem to now be a sustained 3-way split at the top, with the runners and riders, taking it in turns to be top dog, other than the Conservative Party, who I don't think have led in the polls for, well, goodness knows how long. You are a pollster. Where are the various parties standing, in your opinion?
Pretty neck and neck is the answer. The three parties, all vying to be leader of the pack. I think it's fair to say that actually all 3 parties have actually led in one opinion poll or another in the last 10 days. So it is very much a case of neck and neck.
I want to talk to you about, let's say, Reform UK, because a lot of viewers and listeners of this show often message me about Reform UK. Do you think those internal divisions, the fallouts in the party, had any dent on their performance in the polls, or has that not really had any sort of wider ramifications when it comes to the success of that party?
No, it's not had any major impact.
Gaslighting at its finest. Starmer telling the British public they're going to be £1,400 better off. A few other words I could use instead of gaslighting. Hypocritical, taking the piss, stirring the pot. It's mental. And the fact that that man can actually do interviews with a big smile on his face and tell people that they're going to be better off just sums him up as a person for me. The more and more people don't like him. And you can't blame them.